Next game up, we've got Nashville taking on Los Angeles. For what it's worth, I'm not involved in that game. Nashville, LA. We've got LA about -160. Home favorite, total of 5.5. Shaded to the under, about -130 showing up now. And as we were talking about before the show, some of these games don't have lines, but usually this is the hour, right as we're doing this show, that we start to see lines for these games that haven't been posted yet. And we're seeing that not only for this Nashville-LA game, but also the game that we're going to wrap up the show with coming up next, Anaheim-San Jose. Starting to see lines. We've got LA -160 home chalk, total 5.5, -130, shaded to the under in that hockey game. And we've got an opinion on this game from both Andrew McInnes and Dana Lane. Let's go to Dana. Nashville and LA. Nashville coming off a nice win last night on the road against Anaheim. Finally, they had a good road performance after, games on end. And actually, this has been a trend for Nashville. Last year, they were not a great road team at all in the regular season. This year, it's been tough for them on the road here in the regular season as well. They lost in San Jose to get this road trip started. Bounced back in Anaheim last night with a nice win. Now playing second of back-to-back games on the road here in LA. Third road game in 4 nights on the West Coast. Exact type of thing Toronto had to go through earlier this week. Dana, what are you looking at here in LA?
Yeah, I'm glad this number finally came up because I was definitely looking at the under. I mean, I'm not one of these guys that takes what I just saw and applies it to what's going to be. And certainly last night, I think the Nashville Predators kind of got the best of what they can produce offensively. I was going to use another term, but I didn't think it was appropriate. Look, this is still a team, even despite the amount of goals last night. This is still a team that's playing in their second game of a back-to-back. They're playing the gauntlet of the West Coast teams, which always seems to – you kind of always seem to leave a little piece of your DNA behind when you go through these teams. And let's be honest, I mean, before we went into this West Coast swing, I mean, Nashville was horrific 5-on-5. In fact, they're dead last 5-on-5. Their penalty kill has been pretty good this season, but their offense, just like last year in the playoffs, is predicated on their defense. And I think they're a little unsettled defensively right now. I mean, obviously they're missing Ryan Ellis, but Emelin and Subban have played pretty well together. But there's just, to me, that they're still unsettled at the blue line, and if the engine isn't going well, I can't expect the body to play well. Not sure exactly who's going to be in goal, but we have to anticipate Pekka Rinne, I suppose, until we see morning skates this morning. Look, defensively as well, even though I think that they're unsettled on the blue line, which is in relation to themselves offensively, I think they've played still pretty well defensively. Of course, Yossi and Ekholm have played extremely well so far this season, so I can rely on Nashville defensively. But for a team that's 30th or 31st in the league right now and 5-on-5 goals, I just need to see more of them before I can jump on an over train. Last night was certainly kind of something you're not going to see every game with the 5 goals, but of course we were on the over on that game. But the other thing about Pekka Rinne, I know sometimes I've been kind of critical of him, but one thing that I have noticed about Rinne is in past years I've kind of felt like the reason I've been against him is I've kind of felt like he's been out of position. He's had to make spectacular saves, and a lot of people will tell you, well, we don't want our goaltender making spectacular saves because that means that they're out of position. And I kind of I kind of use Marc-Andre Fleury as an example because I've had an opportunity to see him up close. Mark doesn't have to make a lot of spectacular saves, or at least hasn't had to this year or doesn't do it in practice, because he's always in position. He goes from post to post very well. He anticipates pretty well. And I think that's what I kind of see out of Pekka Rinne as of late. So my trust in him, or confidence in him, has grown for sure. But I definitely, when I'm looking at this game, like the under in this. I'm just going to go the complete opposite. I mean, a team that can't score goals, I'm not going to bet that they can do it 2 nights in a row.
And when you look at the reason, and Dana on that under 5.5, and you look at Dana mentioning the point about Nashville struggling to generate goals, scoring chances, quality opportunities at 5-on-5, even strength. Well, then you say, okay, can they do something maybe on the power play? Well, then you look at the LA Kings, who have have allowed one power play goal in their last 14 shorthanded opportunities. So again, they're killing off penalties, LA. So if Nashville can't be trusted to score on the power play and capitalize with the man advantage, and Dana's saying they're struggling 5-on-5, there you go. You start to wonder, okay, where just exactly are the goals going to come from for the Nashville Predators tonight? And again, playing second night of back-to-back games on the road. And, the LA Kings, again, and you talk about Pekka Rinne, and I've noticed that in years past with Pekka Rinne. Slow as all get out in terms of post-to-post, side-to-side movements in years past. Very, very slow in that regard. Dana saying he's picking it up a little bit here. I agree. He's had a decent season so far. He's certainly been better than UC Saros. I mean, UC Saros has really had a tough time. The backup goaltender for Nashville in limited duty. Pekka Rinne's numbers pretty good, actually. 2.19 goals against, decent save percentage. But Saros, on the flip side, 4.36 goals against average for him in limited action. So, this could be one of those situations here for the Nashville Predators where, at this point, you've got to just keep going with Pekka Rinne and net. I understand he faced, 38 shots last night, played last night, second night of back-to-back. This could be a spot for Saros, maybe. But with the way Saros is playing, I've just this weird hunch that, you actually might see Rinne again playing the second night of back-to-back games here. Preds and Kings also from Andrew involved in this game in LA. Andrew, with the Preds and Kings, what are you looking at here?
Yeah, well, coming into this game, I think that the Predators are really one of those teams where you can really expect a really high-scoring game from them, or a really low-scoring game. And coming off that game last night and a back-to-back, I think tonight we can expect one of those kind of low-scoring games from the Predators. Like Dana mentioned, a lot of their scoring comes from their defensemen. They really bump up into the rush. They like to be involved. They're often the main core of their power play, getting their forwards involved. So coming into this game, I think it's going to be a typical back-to-back game. A lot of people don't understand that in the NHL, in comparison to any sport, specifically the NBA or MLB, it's a lot different than any one of those kinds of sports that people don't really think about it. In the NBA, you see a player, you can have a set play where someone literally isn't doing anything. They're just standing outside the three-point line in the back corner. That's pretty much a rest for them. These hockey players, everyone's doing something at all times. They're always working when you're on your shift. And I think this LA team has actually been able to put up more goals than people expected them to be. They've kind of been more offensive than people expect them to be. But not only that, but they've gotten back into their style of being that defensive team as well. They've been shutting teams down in 5-on-5 action, but specifically power plays, penalty kills. That they've been really taking control. They haven't allowed teams to get anything going. And I think on this back-to-back night, like Dana said, with Ellis out, I think this is going to be a game where I'm going all Kings. I like the Kings on the puck line tonight. I think the Predators come out flat. I'm impressed with the way they've been playing this season so far, but I think this is one of those games where they don't put up too many goals, and the Kings have themselves a good night here, guys.
All right, there you go. Kings puck line for Andrew, going for the value. Let me see what price you can get, because I've got to open up, flip to the puck line screen. Here we go. We got LA about plus 180 to plus 190 even showing up on the puck line. So talk about a great price there with Kings laying the puck and a half tonight against the Nashville Predators. That's what Andrew's looking at there.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.